For this next award, named in honor of our great friend and mentor, Dr. Alan Crocker, who died this fall, I would like to ask his daughters, Ellie and Monica, to join me on the stage. At a very young age, Brian Skotko knew that he would dedicate his life to making the world a better place for individuals with Down syndrome. Affected profoundly by his close relationship with his sister Kristen, he realized early that he wanted nothing more than to care for people with Down syndrome and to educate others about their potential. Even so, nobody could have predicted the breadth and depth of the impact he would have in the field of Down syndrome studies and in the larger Down syndrome community, not only here in Massachusetts, but nationally and internationally as well. Following in the footsteps of Dr. Alan Crocker, his mentor and confidant, while forging his own unique path, Brian has, over the past decade, become the preeminent advocate and spokesperson about Down syndrome. He has done this by advancing all areas of public awareness, conducting illuminating research, speaking publicly on issues related to prenatal testing and medical achievements, and continuing to treat patients with Down syndrome as a clinician at Children's Hospital Boston. In 2001, Brian co-authored an award-winning book, Common Threads, Celebrating Life with Down Syndrome. His most recent book, Fasten Your Seatbelt, A Crash Course on Down Syndrome for Brothers and Sisters, co-written with Sue Levine, was likewise lauded by families and experts in the Down syndrome community. In his capacity as a physician at Children's Hospital Boston, Brian and his two collaborators spearheaded 3 related surveys examining family members' experience of Down syndrome. The results, published in last October's issue of the American Journal of Medical Genetics, proved once and for all that Down syndrome is an overwhelmingly positive experience for parents, siblings, and people with Down syndrome themselves. Coincidentally, Brian's study came out at the same time as the release of the new non-invasive prenatal tests for trisomy 21, tests that raise a number of troubling ethical issues. Armed with his own research data, along with his extensive expertise and personal connection, Brian threw himself into the frontiers of the media storm. He helped frame the public debate in a way that always kept the interests of people with Down syndrome and their families at the center. Brian has served on our board of directors for 11 years, providing his unmatched leadership, guidance, and expertise. As a volunteer, he has collaborated with our Parents First Call program to offer expert medical advice to new parents. He has likewise donated countless hours to present at grand rounds, genetic counselor meetings, and medical school trainings, in the process training over 1,000 medical providers about how best to serve their patients with Down syndrome, all on a volunteer basis. As you know, this is a very special year for the MDSC's Alan C. Crocker Award of Excellence. With Dr. Crocker's death last fall, and on this special occasion, it is infinitely apropos that the award bearing Dr. Crocker's name go to Dr. Brian Skotko.
Thank you. I want to first thank you for tolerating my fashion, Massachusetts. Thank you very much. As you all know, this award means so much to me because of having one of the greatest mentors and friends that you could ask for Alan. When I arrived to Boston, the second day I was here, I knocked on his door and I said, Alan, I want you to help me out. And he did, and he was an amazing mentor. And it was Alan who would pick me up from my medical school dormitory and drive me to my very first MDSC board meeting. And he taught me a lesson that still rings true today, and that is, Brian, doctors belong in the community. And I've never forgotten that, because he introduced me to one of the greatest gifts I have, and that is all of you. And for the past 11 years, you have welcomed me into your hearts and into your homes, and a lifetime of work will never be able to repay all that you have filled my soul with, so thank you. Maureen and her exceptional staff at the MDSC worked so hard and challenged me to work so hard, and I want to thank them for all that they have done. And by being on the board for 11 years, yes, my time will soon be over on the board, but I have had the chance of working with an amazing cast and crew of board members, both past and present. And thank you for challenging me, for answering emails and sending emails, sometimes at 2 or 3 a.m., because you believe in what this is all about. I couldn't have done anything without my family, my parents, and my 2 wonderful sisters. Of course, you know Kristen, who has Down syndrome, who dresses far better than I do, of course, is a life coach. But I also want to thank my wife, Carrie, who defines style both inside and out, and couldn't do what I do without Carrie. Our work is far from over, and I'm far from stopping, and we need to do it together. And as Alan would remind us, let's carry on. Thank you so much.